Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lukenessmonster. Today we're going to be continuing our super exciting Star Wars Black Series leak video. If you did miss my last two videos, they'll be pinned in the card and linked in the description, so make sure to go check those ones out first. But if you guys didn't know, an anonymous source actually reached out to me claiming to have a bunch of leaks and rumors coming directly from a Hasbro employee. Now obviously none of the leaks and rumors on this list are confirmed by any means, so please take everything with a grain of salt, because I cannot 100% verify that all of the stuff on this list is true or not. So please take everything with a grain of salt, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into today's leak video. Really quick though, there's only a few days left to join our Black Series Clone 2-pack giveaway. We are picking the winner on Monday the 17th, so there's only like 2 days left to enter. If you do want a chance to win, make sure you're 1, subscribe to the channel, and 2, leave a comment on my most anticipated Black Series figures of 2025 video. It'll be pinned in the card and linked in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these leaks. So continuing the leak list, we do have some more figures from Revenge of the Sith that I didn't get to in the last episode. First up is actually a prequel Yoda. We just got a prequel Yoda based on Revenge of the Sith, a part of the Clones of the Republic line in the Yoda and Greed 2-pack. My assumption is that this would be a single mainline release version of this figure. Now, that's a very tiny figure. That Yoda is not by any means worth a full $25 figure, and I think that's why they included the Jedi Council chair in the Yoda and Greed 2-pack release, and I'm not really sure if they would re-include that in the single release or not. So at this point, this one is kind of a stretch to me just because I don't think it would be worth that price point. But knowing Hasbro, they sold Grogu as a mainline wave figure, as a $25 figure, and that one was definitely not worth $25. Now, granted, it's an amazing figure, and if you don't have it, I suggest you guys go pick it up. But yeah, I could see them doing this. I think they would have a hard time selling it. But on the other hand, it is a prequel Yoda. It's a really popular character, and a lot of people did miss out on that Clones of the Republic 2-pack, so it might sell very well. I don't really know. This one is just iffy to me because I have a hard time finding a $25 value if it doesn't come with the Jedi Council chair. And according to this leak list, there's no word if it will or won't. So we'll have to wait and see, but I could see this one going either way. Next up on the list for Revenge of the Sith is actually a Commander Gree, specifically from Revenge of the Sith, and not a random comic book or magazine or whatever the Clones of the Republic version is. This one is specifically the camo version that we all know and love. Again, this one's a little strange to me just because I feel like we just got that like comic magazine version of Gree, so to get another version of Gree right off the bat is a little strange to me, but they did just do a remake of Commander Cody, and there's a rumored remake of Commander Bly, and so I could see Hasbro going back and trying to remake all of these clone commanders. It's possible that Gree could be on the list as well, and it wouldn't surprise me. But if we do look at some of the leaked photos for Commander Bly, it uses the old pauldron and old belt piece that the Commander Bly from the Redbox line did use. And so right now the assumption is that Commander Bly is actually just going to be a straight re-release of the older version. And so there's always a chance that this Commander Gree is just a straight re-release like that Commander Bly is rumored to be at the moment. So like I said, either way it could go back and forth. I think everybody's kind of, fingers crossed hoping for a brand new Commander Gree. But at this point it's hard to tell which one it could be because we don't have any factory leaks or anything of that nature. Just a name on a paper right now is all we got. But definitely fingers crossed for an updated brand new version of that Commander Gree because it definitely needs an update. Now, there's always a chance that this Gree and Yoda could come in another 2-pack. We do see them together in Revenge of the Sith. This is just a screen grab from the movie, but I don't see that being a thing. We just got a Yoda and Gree 2-pack, so to do another Yoda and Gree 2-pack would just be weird to me, so I don't think that is the way to go, but I guess it is in the realm of possibilities. Next up from Revenge of the Sith is a Galactic Marine, and this one actually makes a lot of sense to me. In the last video I did talk about a lot of the rumors for new snowtroopers from the Mando and Grogu movie, which we already did see in the leaked trailer from D23 for that. And so it definitely makes sense if Hasbro's making a new mold for the snowtrooper, that it could easily be reused and some parts swapped out for a Galactic Marine. And so this one is a no-brainer to me, and I could definitely see if they're doing one, the other one has got to be on the way. And so yeah, this one makes sense, especially with Commander Bakara just coming out and Ki-Adi-Mundi coming out not that long ago. This is perfect sense to me, and I really hope that this one is the case. Now, in my first leak video, I did talk about how there was the Anakin's Jedi Starfighter on the list, but I wasn't sure if it was for Black Series or for Vintage Collection. Well, I did get some clarification, and the person did say that it is specifically for the Black Series, but they did say that they still weren't sure if it ever made it into production. They said that whenever they heard about it, the idea was only being thrown around, and they don't know if it ever made it into an actual production stage or not. But they did say that the idea being thrown around was for a mainline release and not a HasLab, so that one's interesting to me. But realistically, a ship this size would be smaller or similar size to the Snowspeeder that we got back in 2020. And so realistically, this could be a $150 to $200 vehicle, and it could definitely be a mainline vehicle or a made-to-order vehicle. It doesn't have to be a HasLab, because it is kind of under that HasLab price threshold. It is a little bit cheaper than most HasLabs go for, and so I could see this being a mainline vehicle, but it would just make sense that they would throw in some fluff and raise the price enough to call it a HasLab. But at this point, who really knows? And I'm just hoping that it made it into a production stage. So we'll have to see, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated if we find out any more information on it. Next up, we have one figure from Book of Boba Fett, and it is actually Boba Fett. This one is not really surprising to me. Boba Fett has been on Yakface's rumor list for quite a while now. We didn't really know what version of Boba Fett it is. It's been thrown around that it's this version or an Empire Strikes Back version, but according to this leak list, we are going to be getting a Book of Boba Fett version of Boba, which it's about time. He's the main character of the show, and we only got the Mandalorian appearance for him and not the actual Book of Boba Fett appearance, so this one is a long time coming, and they've already got the mold for most of it. They made one in TVC like 3 years ago, and so I think one for BlackSeries, it's about time, and it makes sense. So yeah, this one I'm not surprised about at all. Next up, we actually do have Leia from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. This is another one that's kind of weird to me, just because of the timing. I mean, the Kenobi show came out in 2022, and so why are we getting a Leia figure now? And that's why this one's just a little strange to me, is that it's 3 years too late. I don't think anybody's really, like, campaigning for this figure to be coming out. I think it's a cool figure and I'd love to get one, but it's just not one that I think is at the top of my list, and so that's why I think the timing just isn't right for it. I think if they released it 2 years ago, I think it would be great, but they're not really releasing any other Kenobi figures anymore, and so just to randomly get a Leia thrown in there, it's weird. Now, I do think we need one. She's one of the main characters of the show, and so it would definitely be great to get one on the shelf next to Obi-Wan, but it is still just a strange choice to me, and that's why I'm a little skeptical about this one. Next up on the list, I'm kind of skeptical about this one as well, and that is a Zeb from Rebels. Just because, like, we already have a Zeb in Rebels, and he doesn't change his outfit, so if we were to get a Zeb, it would either be a straight re-release of the one we already got, or it'd be a brand new figure, and the figure's decent. It's not bad by any means. It could use an upgrade, but it's only been 5 years since that figure came out, and so I don't think like a ton of people are really campaigning for a new Zeb. If anything, I think Zeb is one of those, like, one of the best figures of that original Rebels wave that we did get, and so I just don't really see this one as being like a necessity. I do know Zeb is rumored to be showing up in the Mando and Grogu movie, and if you guys did miss one of my videos previously, I did mention that he was also on this leak list, and so maybe my thought is that Hasbro is doing like a whole brand new photoreal face sculpt for this version of like the Mandalorian Zeb, and they just wanted to go back and remake the Rebels version with this photoreal look. That's my only thought for this one, but I don't know. This one, again, is just strange to me. Next up is one that's a little strange to me as well, but this one is specifically rumored for late 2026. I do want to make that clear, and anything that is rumored for late 2026, I will mention here later in the video, because there are a few. But this one is an Empire Strikes Back Han Solo. Now, we did just get a Empire Strikes Back Han Solo not too long ago, and so I could definitely see them wanting to do an updated version, especially, I guess, late 2026, early 27. I guess it would make sense to finally get a new version of him out there. But yeah, this one's strange. It doesn't specify what outfit it is. I just assumed it's the blue jacket version, but I guess it could be a Hoth version or a Cloud City version. This is just his most iconic outfit from Empire Strikes Back, so this is the one I assumed we would be getting, but take that with a grain of salt. But my thought is that they're actually doing the Return to Tatooine campaign this year and getting all of those A New Hope figures remade and re-released this year, and so my thought is that in the next coming years, they're going to do a lot of those OT characters that do desperately need upgrades, like your Empire Strikes Back Han Solo, or your Bespin Luke. My thought is that they're just going to hit some of those needed figures going into future years, just like they did for A New Hope. So this one's pretty exciting, and I hope this one is true, because it means we could see some upgrades on figures like Bespin Luke, or other Empire Strikes Back figures, or maybe even Return of the Jedi figures that just desperately need upgrades. So this one's exciting to me. On the leak list, there's also, this one is just Ahsoka from the Ahsoka show, so it doesn't actually clarify what version of Ahsoka it is, but this is just my assumption, and that it's going to be like a mercenary Ahsoka, or essentially just an Ahsoka with that white cloak, that Ahsoka the White that everybody has been wanting for a long time, and everybody's been kind of assuming is going to come out. I do think that this just Ahsoka is going to be this Ahsoka the White version. Now, of course, I don't have any clarification for this. This is just my assumption of what this Ahsoka mystery figure could be, but I think that one is the best bet, and it's definitely one of the most needed styles for Ahsoka that we don't have yet, and we've already seen them do it for both Baylan and Shin, and so there's no reason that they're not going to do it for Ahsoka too. Next up, we actually do have 2 Clone Wars figures. First up is a Corporal Echo, which I believe is the Season 7 version of Echo here that we do see, and this one makes complete sense to me if it's true, because Hasbro actually already has all of the parts they need to make it. If you guys didn't know, whenever Hasbro was making the Bad Batch version of Echo, they didn't know the helmet was going to change because everything was top secret at Lucasfilm. And so what they actually did is they made a head sculpt and a helmet sculpt that are exactly the same as the Season 7 version because they just assumed that the mold would stay the same. But it ended up actually changing, and so Hasbro had to completely restart the figure from scratch. But because of that, there are still a lot of leaked photos of this original mold for the helmet and head sculpt that never got used. I even made a video on my channel, and other people have too. It's on the internet. You guys can easily find it if you want to. So Hasbro already has all of the molds and pieces they need to make this figure, and so it would kind of make sense that they would actually go out and do it because they have all the parts to it. They spent a lot of money to make new molds. It would make sense that they actually go ahead and do this figure because they already spent the money to make it, and so just add a different paint scheme on it, and there you go. It's perfect. This one makes a lot of sense to me, and I hope it's true. And the next up for Clone Wars is actually a Clone Trooper hard case. This one is specifically rumored for late 2026, just like the Han Solo, but this one is interesting to me. It makes sense because it's just a Clone Trooper repaint. They've got the mold for it. All they got to do is repaint him, and he's a really popular character as well. But Hasbro does kind of like to shy away from named Clone Troopers, and so this one is a little odd on the list just because we really haven't gotten any named Clone Troopers that aren't commanders already. So we'll have to wait and see. They do them every once in a while, like Clone Pilot Hawk, but it's just kind of random, and so this one I could easily see being on the list, and I hope it's true, but it is just a little strange because they haven't really done anything like it before. Next up, we're moving on to gaming figures, and we have a ton of heavy hitters here. First up is HK-47, and this one is a really interesting one, just because I know it exists somewhere out there. Yakface had it on his rumor list for the longest time, but he actually said it did end up getting cancelled and replaced with new media figures, which is a real shame, but he actually has come out and said that he's seen photos of it. So we do know for sure that this figure exists somewhere out there, and so it would make sense that if this figure exists, a lot of time and money went into it, it would make sense that at some point they plan on releasing it. But there are also 2 more figures from KOTOR 2 on here, being a Darth Sion and a Darth Treya. And I do apologize if I pronounce those names wrong. I really have no attachment to these characters at all, as I've never played KOTOR 2, but I do know that they are really popular characters, and I know a lot of people out there in the gaming community would really love to see these guys come as figures. But I also do know that the KOTOR figures from last year with Darth Malak and Darth Malgus were a huge success for Hasbro, and they sold out and they had trouble keeping them in stock. And so I think this one makes a ton of sense for Hasbro. Those other KOTOR figures sold great, so why not bring some more KOTOR figures into the line? And I guess these 2 would be the next 2 obvious choices. Again, I know they're pretty popular out there, and so I'd be really happy to see these ones come to the line, and I'd love to see what they look like in figure form. But again, I don't know too much about them, so please let me know down in the comments if you guys think both of these would be good additions to the Black Series. But I do think they look pretty cool, and so I definitely pick them up. Next up, with one of the biggest heavy hitters on this list, is Starkiller from the Force Unleashed 2. This one is super exciting, and I think this one makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of these pieces can be reused from the Starkiller, I guess, Force Unleashed 1 version that we already got. But yeah, Starkiller is just a popular character, and any version of the figure they release is going to sell very well, and I know Hasbro knows that, and so getting a Force Unleashed 2 version out there is going to be a no-brainer for them. Funko also just did a Force Unleashed 2 version of Starkiller, which is surprising and odd, and so my guess is that Lucasfilm finally said, like, you guys are allowed to do products for this character, or you guys have to do products for this character, and that's why Funko just released one, and I'm guessing that Hasbro and maybe even Hot Toys won't be too far behind them. This one's cool though, and I think this one's going to sell really, really well if it is true. Next up, we have 3 figures from Jedi Survivor. First up is a Cal Kestis. This one makes sense. We've already seen some factory leaks for a brand new Cal Kestis figure, as well as it's shown up on Yakface's leak list. Right now, the rumor is that it will be a scoundrel version of his outfit, just because we already know that A New Hope Han Solo is getting a figure, and the vest can easily just be thrown on the Cal Kestis figure, and so that right now is the rumor, if we're going to be getting a scoundrel version of Cal Kestis. I don't know if this one is true or not, or if this Cal Kestis is going to be the same one as the one that's been already leaked, but right now there is a Cal Kestis on this list, so this is my guess for what that Cal Kestis will be. And then the last two figures on the list for today are both rumored for late 2026, and that is a Seer and a Grease from Jedi Survivor. Both of these figures are definitely highly demanded when it comes to people in like the gaming community for the Black Series. Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order were super popular, and everybody's been asking for the main crew for a long time now, and so this one is pretty exciting. Obviously, Marin from Jedi Survivor has also been leaked for a little bit now, and so it would make sense that we'd be both getting a Seer and a Grease. And so really excited to see both of these on the list, and I do hope it comes true. Again, it is for late 2026, so we will have to wait a little bit for these ones if they are true, but I think it's about time, and I'd be really, really excited to get both of these characters in the line as Black Series figures. So really excited for both of these guys, and let me know what you guys think about them down below. Now, in my first leak video, I did talk about there being a rumored 10th anniversary of the Force Awakens wave, with Rey being one of those figures, but we also do know the rest of the wave as of right now for this leak, that being, of course, Rey, which we just talked about, but there also being a Kylo Ren, a Finn, and a Poe Dameron. All of these would make sense. They're, I guess, the four main characters of the movie, and I think they're the ones that most desperately need remakes, especially from that first wave of 2015 figures. So these are all kind of exciting to me. I don't know if I'd pick them up or not. I think I'd have to see the figures to really see them, but I know a lot of people have been asking for 10th anniversary Force Awakens figures, and so these would be the ones that you definitely want remakes of. I also do have rumors here of a complete Acolyte wave, which was completely canceled because of the poor performance of the Acolyte, but this video, again, is really, really long, so we are going to be covering this in a future video. I do apologize for doing this, but the algorithm doesn't like super long videos on my channel, and so I think it is best to put this in a separate video, so stay tuned for that, because that one will be releasing in the next week, so stay tuned. Really quick though, if you guys made it this far into the video, it means you're probably a big fan of the channel, so let me talk to you guys about our membership giveaways. For the month of February, we are giving away these two figures. For our standard members, we're giving away this Tibbin Station Obi-Wan. And for our premium members, we're giving away this Amazon exclusive Emperor and Throne set. If you guys do want a chance to win, make sure to hit that join button down below and become a channel member, because anybody who joins during the month of February will be automatically entered to win. Anyway guys, that is all of the leaks and rumors that we do have for today, so thank you guys so much for watching. We will have some more leaks and rumors in the future, so stick around for that. I can't say exactly when I'm going to be able to make a video covering those. I was told that a lot of these figures are really far out, and some of them are from IPs that haven't even been announced yet, and so I was told I wasn't quite allowed to talk about them just yet, but as soon as I am, I'll let you guys know, and I'll make a video covering all of them here on the channel, so stick around for that. That is going to do it for this video though, so if you did enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, so you don't miss out on any future Black Series news, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.